Bitcoin has crashed very significantly towards the downside. We are breaking major macro structures towards the downside, and this is looking very concerning. Now, I need to be talking about what has currently been happening, what is likely to happen next up in the imminent short term. Can we be seeing some kind of a bounce right here being created, or are we headed even lower? And what is my current exact game plan to be trading this market? So first of all, before jumping in towards the imminent short term, we need to have a deeper understanding about what exactly happened yesterday night, because we saw a multitude of reasons of why exactly we got this dump towards the downside. First of all, it was announced that Elon Musk, or better said SpaceX, might have sold all its Bitcoin holdings because it was missing on their balance sheet. Other than that, the largest property developer filed for bankruptcy in New York. We saw more than 1 billion worth of Bitcoin liquidations in the past 24 hours. And of course, we also saw that the Bitcoin spot ETFs got likely to be delayed all the way towards 2024. Now, of course, we have seen that Bitcoin's volatility was sitting at literally all-time lows. And I've been warning you guys about this exactly so many times on my channel. And whenever we actually broke this pattern towards the downside and we lost our most important support trend line, well, that has caused a massive liquidation event to be started. Literally, we saw a massive Bitcoin liquidation event, even bigger than we saw during the FTX collapse. The liquidation event that has happened was about twice as big as we saw during the FTX collapse. So of course, we have been waiting for this massive move to be getting started, and I have been warning you guys about this massive move. Now, I did think it was more likely that we were going to be seeing this massive move being created towards the upside, but I have said many times that we could of course also break this one towards the downside. So now we know exactly what has happened yesterday night. We can start to have a look in towards the imminent short term. And as much as I'd like to say just buy the dip right here, I honestly do not think this will be the smartest decision. Because keep in mind, we have seen one of the largest liquidation events. And because of this liquidation event, on many exchanges, we have dipped all the way down towards the 24.3k level. And we have basically created a massive wick towards the downside. And very often what you can be seeing if we are going to be creating wicks towards the downside with massive liquidation events is that, well, whenever that happens, we can very often see that the wick is going to be getting filled. For example, right over here, we also created a massive wick towards the downside. We bounced very quickly towards the upside, but right after that, we dipped down even further. Right after that, we also created another massive wick towards the downside, but right after that, well, once again, we dipped down even further. And this has basically been the case because we have seen this massive liquidation event right back then being created. And the thing is that right now we are seeing an even bigger liquidation event actually happening right now. So yes, indeed, we are seeing major oversold levels on the RSI indicator, and our macro structure is still intact. We are still in a weekly uptrend, but at the other side, well, we are also creating some major bearish signals right now in the Bitcoin chart, which we should not ignore. So yes, I do expect that we are going to be filling this wick and we are going to be revisiting these lows at a later stage right here. But I will also be sharing exactly what is my game plan currently. When am I really going to be buying this dip? And when am I going to be opening a long position? So stick around for that exactly, because you do not want to miss that opportunity that I'm going to be sharing right here. Now, other than that, of course, I have already talked about that we are right now holding this weekly uptrend. And in my opinion, probably we are not going to be breaking this structure towards the downside. And I do think we are going to be remaining to be trading inside of an uptrend right here. Because, well, still having a look in towards our on-chain indicators, nothing much has happened, and in my opinion there's nothing to worry about, because I'm still going to be thinking that we are right now in this bear market recovery phase and we still have a long way to go. This has basically happened every single cycle, and I think the same levels are going to be getting reached before we are going to be topping out and before we are going to be breaking this structure towards the downside. So that is why I'm still thinking that we are going to be trading inside of a weekly uptrend, and probably we are not going to be breaking this one. Now, if we are actually going to be breaking this one with a 4 daily candle below this level, and if we are going to be confirming a weekly downtrend, well, then the case might be a little bit different, and then I might be readjusting my thesis. And because I'm going to be thinking that we are going to be remaining to be holding this uptrend, well, it will also be very likely that we are going to be holding this support level right here. Probably we are not going to be closing a 4 daily candle below this support level. We might be wicking down below just a little bit right here on some daily candles, because of course I do think this wick is going to be getting filled, but I do not think we will be closing down below very massively. So now this might be a little bit confusing. At the one side I'm still a little bit bearish, and I still think we can be seeing more downside being created, but at the other side I'm still saying that the weekly trend is towards the upside, and I might be starting to look to be buying this dip up. So when exactly am I looking to be buying this dip, and when can I be opening my long position on BitGet? Well, what I'm going to be having a looking towards in being created is going to be on the daily time frame. I want to be seeing a bullish divergence being formed on top of this support level, and whenever we can be finding this strength, and whenever we can be creating this bullish signal and at the same time holding this support level, well, then I'm going to be opening my long position, and then I will be heavily buying this dip. We could of course see this exactly also playing out right here during this dip, which in my opinion this dip is actually very similar, because we saw a similar kind of news event happening and a similar liquidation event happening. So I'm going to be waiting until this will be happening, and then I will be opening my positions. Now, one thing to do keep in mind is that we are going to be trading inside of a weekend tomorrow, so the situation could be changed up a little bit right here depending on what exactly we are going to be doing during the weekend. But basically this is where I'm going to be having a look in towards. I hope it is all very clear to you guys, and if you do want to be staying up to date about every single market development, be sure to be following me on Twitter, and guys, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning.